In this PowerPoint program, we are not logged to Cognos. So if I click here, I will get this dialog where I have to provide my username and password. But I will just close that dialog because if we jump here to Visual Basic Environment, we can see that I have already provided my username and password inside of this function. I also typed here a URL of my Cognos server, and this is my namespace. Now, how to find out what is your namespace? Well, the easiest way is to import some report from Cognos. For example, if we jump here to Word, here I have one already imported report, and that report has to be from my folders. So not from team content, but from my folders. And then we can jump to this other tab, and here, inside of this search path, between this double quote and colon, I have my namespace. So BID is my namespace. And now we can go back, and now we can run this function, and we will be logged to Cognos. So when we jump back to PowerPoint file, we will be able to see our reports here. Now this procedure doesn't work standalone. Beside it, we also need two more modules. We need this module here and this module here, and these two modules are provided by IBM. I will now jump here to Excel, because here inside of this Excel file I don't have any of those modules, so we will create everything in here from scratch, and I will show you how to get this functionality. First, I will go back here to PowerPoint, and I will copy this function. I will copy it. I will then go to Excel, and I will create a new module. I will right click here, I will go to Insert, Module, and here I will paste that code. I will rename this module as Cognos Logon module. Next, we need those two modules from IBM. I can show you them here to you. So this is the first module. This module is standard Visual Basic module because it has extension BAS. This other module has extension CLS. That means that this is class module, and this module is really short. I will now go back here to Excel. I will right click here. I will click on Import File, and first I will import this BAS file. I will click on Open. Now we have another module, and inside of this module we have that code that we have saw earlier, and I will rename this module to its original name, and that would be Cognos Office Automation. Next, we need one class module, so I will go to Insert, Class Module. I will rename this module to Cognos Office Message Suppressor, and I will copy its code from this text editor. So I will copy all of this code, and I will paste it inside of this module. And now we have everything to log to Cognos with VBA. Now, this here is not my real mail address. This here is not my real password. Now, I have to replace them with the real values, but I have to make a confession. I'm not able to log to this specific instance of Cognos. Now, this code here is workable. It works on one other instance of Cognos, but I'm not able to log to this specific instance. Now, this is trial version of Cognos Cloud. Maybe it is not allowed to log to this instance if you don't have paid status or something like that. I don't know. So in this case, I will be forced to use a cheat in order to continue this demonstration. First, I will show to you that if I run this function, I will of course get logon failed. But if I go to Excel and if I log to Cognos manually, so I will click here, I will enter my credentials, continue, I will type my password, and then I will go back to my function, I will run it again, and we will get a message logon succeeded because we are already logged. So this is a cheat that I will use in order to show you everything else that we can do with VBA in Cognos for Office add-on. We will start with this procedure here. First, we will check whether this object do exist. Now, when we mention this object, we are actually calling a procedure, and that procedure is inside of this other module. So I will go to this other module, and here below we have a procedure with that name. This procedure will create this object, and this is a really major object because everything we do here in VBA will be based on this object. And this object will be placed inside of this module variable. So that module variable is here, and this variable will save this object for us during the session. Now, this will happen only if this variable is empty. If it is not empty, we will just read the content of that variable. So we will read this object, and we will return that object as the result of this property get procedure. So we can now go back. We now know that we have this object, and that means that our Cognos for Office add-on is installed and that it is working properly. Now we can call logon function, and this logon function is defined also inside of this other module. So here we have logon function, and this logon function will call logon method on our object, and that is how we will log to Cognos. But before that, we will create a new object of Cognos Office message suppressor type. So this object belongs to class that is defined by this class module. So I will go to this class module, and here we can see that when a new object is created, this event will occur, and then we will suppress error messages. But when that object is deleted, then we will again allow error messages. I will go back here. So this code here is used for suppressing error messages. And most of these functions have the same pattern. First we suppress error messages, and then we call a method on this object. Now we can go back to see the rest of this procedure. So the rest is really simple. We will return logon succeed if we succeed, or logon failed if it doesn't succeed. And if we cannot create this Cognos Office automation object, then we will return this message. I will now go back to this module to see some other functions. Here below we have some property get procedure that is not useful for user, so this is just for internal use. Then below we have another function for logging. Now this function is not used to directly log to Cognos. Instead of that, there are some mediator services like this one, like Basic, Kerberos, and SiteMinder. So instead of logging directly to Cognos, first we log to these services, and then through those services we will log to Cognos. In that case, we should use this logon function. Now the rest of the functions are the one that we are interested in, because these are the functions that will do the real work. So we have clear all data, refresh all data, and format, unlink all data, clear data cache, and log all functions. Again, all of these functions have the same pattern. First we suppress error messages, and then we call a method. Now we can also notice that none of these functions is using arguments, and all of them are public. That means that we can call them as any procedure. For example, we can go here to Excel, we can go to developer, macros, and here they are. So we can call them directly. I will close this, and now I will explain you all of these functions. First, clear all data. This function will work the same thing as if we click on this button here, clear all data. Then we have refresh all data and refresh all data and format. If we go back to Excel, if we click on this button, then we have these two options. So those functions are representation of these two options. I will go back. Then we have unlink all data. I will go back. That is the same as if we click on this convert to snapshot button. I will go back. Clear data cache. So we can go again to Excel. We can go to options. And here we have a button for clearing cache. I will cancel this. We will go back, and we have log off function. So again, we can go here to connect, and we can disconnect, or we can go here, right click, and choose log off. So those functions are the same as these buttons. Now I have prepared here some buttons that will call those functions so we can make a demonstration. So first I will import some report. So I will double click here. I will click on finish. And now I will first clear this data. So I will click here. I will call that function clear all data, and my data is clear. Again, we can refresh all data. So if I click here, I will get my data back. We can also apply here some color. So I will add some yellow color. And again, we can go to these buttons and I will click refresh all data and format. And this will refresh my format. Now, if you click on clear data cache, nothing visible will happen. I will not unlink my report. Instead of that, I will just log off. After I log off, we will no more be able to see these reports here. So I will click on log off and we are logged off from Cognos.